All right, so everybody knows I'm doing this video. I've got Tex T on the phone. Hey, Tex.
What's up?
So I keep hearing rumors from people saying that me and Tim were in the back streets going to Tex T so that he could attack Little Feller and Little Stephanie as pedos and groomers. Hey, Tex, real quick, did I ever come to you or have you talked to Tim in the back streets at all?
I've never talked to Tim not one time.
Okay. Did I come to you? Did I come to you to attack them, or when I reached out to you in Christmas time, my first time? Do you remember what I reached out to you about?
Uh,
You had made a community post about Stephanie,
yeah,
and I came to you and I asked you a simple question. Do you remember that question?
you got to refresh my memory because there's so much going on.
Did I not ask you? Are you sure you want to take on this fight and go after them instead of just walking
yeah,
away?
that's when you was trying to, when you was trying to talk me out of even doing all this. Yeah.
Wait a minute. I tried to talk you out of doing something. I didn't come to you to try to gas you up.
No, not at all. 100%.
Did I ever tell you that Feller and Stephanie got together that he was a pedo or a groomer?
Nope.
Okay.
Never did.
When I sent you the video, why did I send you my video of her being on my panel?
I'd have to look back at her messages. Remember exactly.
Well, now tell me if I'm wrong because we're live, but you had mentioned something going after Feller and you had said something about 1814 because you said you remembered a live of mine.
I remembered that live like way back in the day, because I know you a long time, but I was back then, anyways, I'd heard somebody else, but I wish I could remember who it was, say the 1814. And I don't know why I ran with it, to be honest with you. And I just asked Little Feller that in a comment, and he said something about, she was 18 when she got to 14. I think maybe he misunderstood what I was saying, and I don't know. But after I said what I said, I called him a pedo. And I believe, if I remember correctly, I don't want to be 100%, but I believe when I said something, even before I called him a pedo first, I think I heard, what's his name? Charlie D say the pedo word first.
Now,
and I just ran with it.
When you called him a pedo,
talk me out of that, but you never called him a pedo.
Now, wait a minute. You said I tried to talk you out of calling him a pedo?
Yes, you did.
Did I not send you my video? I told you I made it public for you to read, and you said you couldn't find it, so I sent it to you, and I said he's not a pedo. And then I said watch the video, and then you watched it, and you're like, you're right. And I said I think you owe him an apology. True or false?
Yeah, true.
Okay.
True.
Then later in the afternoon, I text you and I said, wait a minute, did you use my video to call him a groomer? Is that true?
You did call me and ask me that, and I got the groomer part from, that's just a word that Little Hellbelly said, because I think he seen that comment between me and Feller about the 1814 when Feller said that, because that's what Hellbilly was saying over on Jeans. He said, why would he say that? Why would he say, this or that? That at least makes him a groomer.
And didn't you apologize for using my video because I sent it to you to prove he wasn't a pedophile?
Exactly.
I wasn't was I sending you the video to go after them on my behalf because I had a grudge against Stephanie?
I just wanted to see the whole story, that's all. And that's one of the very first video I made out of that video was the God stuff. I hadn't even watched the whole thing yet. So when I finished watching the rest of it and I heard everything Steph said, talk about them when they got together and everything, she never even said any ages. And that's when I started feeling, like really horrible that I ever even called him a pedo in the first place. I'm almost positive, but, can't be guaranteed, but I think this Charlie D did use the pedo word first. And that's what made me do that.
Who came at you to apologize to him for calling him a pedo?
Who came at me?
Who came to you? Who came to do what?
No, what are you talking about?
Who came to you on IG and says, you're wrong for calling him a pedo. You should.
You did, right there, yeah.
Who did again?
You did.
Thank you. So never once. Now, to be fair, when you went after Steph back in December of last year, I came to you on IG and I said, "Are you sure you really want to get into this and not just let dead dogs lie?" Correct?
Correct.
And several times throughout this last 9 months, have I not talked to you, just heard you out and been like, "Isn't your life full and happy?" That And what made you reach out this time to like, look, I apologize, it's over? Was it a conversation that you and me had that I brought up that your real life is so important that YouTube shouldn't consume you because you weren't having fun anymore?
Right. Which comment are you talking about on that? Which conversation?
The last one we had before you reached out to Feller on a comment online, I said, you know what? If you're not having, because you said you went after her, what was the reason that you initially went after Stephanie that you told me?
Can't remember.
You told me it was something that she done to you.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Or something I felt like she did.
Okay. So that's the only reason you were going after her. And so throughout the process, I kept asking you, why not let it go? And then when the weirdo stuff came up, I said, wait a minute, does she not want you going after, or to them to go after you because you're a weirdo or because you have stuff on her? And that was our legitimate conversations was back and forth. But every step of the way, I even reached out our last conversation and said, look, if you're not, because you always said you were doing it and having fun, right?
At first, yeah.
So this last
conversation kind of got out of hand.
Right.
I think it really got kind of out of hand when I heard somebody say the word pedo, and I just kind of ran with it. And that's not fun. That's not, if you ain't got the solid receipt, you should never. I mean, I felt horrible about it once I found out the whole truth.
And that's why I sent you the video.
Exactly.
Thank you.
That's how I found out the whole truth. And that's when I reached out to little feller, and I just wanted to end it. And so one last time to little feller, I absolutely apologize. And I can't guarantee 100% I got the pedo part from, I'm almost positive it's Charlie D. And I just kind of ran with it. I know that I was wrong for that shit. I've been off YouTube. I'm signed completely out, so I can't even get into my channel right now.
So you only got my video.
To be honest with you.
You only got sent my video because you had asked about it and I had it private and I sent it to you so you could watch it yourself to prove he wasn't a pedo. Is that correct?
Exactly. Correctly.
Yeah. Thank you. But no time have you ever talked to Tim in the back streets?
Never, not one time.
And never have you ever talked to him about the little family at all?
No, not even in his chat.
Okay. And nowhere did I come to you and ask you to go after Stephanie on my behalf or try to gas you up to do it? Or did I do the opposite and try to talk you down?
You tried to talk me down.
And our last conversation we had, if you remember, we were talking and I said, look, are you still having fun going after Stephanie? And you said no. And I said, well, look, as busy as your real life is, if you're not having fun anymore, why don't you end it? Get a hold of them. And you said the only way I can do it is online. I don't know how to get a hold of them. And I says, why don't you put it out there? And then you text me back and said, hey, I just did a community post or on a message asking him. And I said, wow, that was big of you. And you said, all I have to do is wait for him to respond, right?
Right.
And then he did.
Yeah.
And when he did,
we apologized to him, about Steph and all that.
And then after you guys reached out, you reached out to me and let me know. And what did I tell you? After you told me the good news, what did I say to you? Did I not congratulate it?
Getting bed, huh?
Did I not congratulate you and say I'm so happy for all of you?
Yeah, all of us. Yeah.
Thank you. So, like I said, we have the screenshots, we have the text messages to prove everything we just discussed, but it's nobody. I don't have to put it out. You don't either. They either take yours and my word for it or they can fuck off. I give two shits, correct?
I did say that correct, yeah. And I did say that in public that Kim and Lori had nothing to do with this. I screwed up. I own up to it. I let all kinds of different people get in my head. Why let Charlie D do that shit? And I still can't guarantee it 100%, but I'm almost positive it was. And then I switched it from pedo to groomer when Hillbilly started calling him a groomer. And then finally I said, you know what? Once I watched that whole video and I realized just how fucking all this shit got flipped upside down, that's when, I reached out to Feller. And I signed out of YouTube after that. So I can't even get on YouTube. I get 0 notifications, so don't bother anybody tagging me.
And why did you apologize? Why did you apologize to me, Tex T?
Because I knew you had nothing to do with it. And I misrepresented your video.
And what did I tell you?
I remember.
It's okay that friends, we all make mistakes on here, right?
Yeah, I highly appreciate that.
And you and me were friends before you decided to go after Stephanie.
Oh, yeah. We've been friends a long time, yeah.
It seemed to be, we both talked about, and you had a video you were going to put out to put out the truth that I had nothing to do with this. And
exactly.
And I told you not to, didn't I?
Not to, yeah.
Why did I tell you not to put it out?
You told me not to. I do remember that. You told me not to because regardless, they still will go after y'all,
Thank you. Because I already knew they were going to use the narrative that we had something to do with it. It didn't matter what you said or what we could prove. And like I said, I'm not even, I'm going to put out one message where we were talking and I put, I said, don't forget, you got to take ownership of him not being a pedo. It's the right thing to, yep. I just wish everyone would quit with the pedo stuff. So I'm letting you know I was putting that message out right now.
If y'all call him that, this is my solid words. I screwed up on that. So anybody else keeps continuing to call him that, then it's on you. So y'all calling him that for some other reason.
There you go.
So I didn't apologize. I do not agree with it 1,000%. And
so,
I apologize to Feller and all that. So I'm off of YouTube probably permanently. I can't even get in my channel, so you can't even tag me, so I won't see nothing after this. That's why I'm doing this by phone call.
And then I'm showing them just the text where I said, so after you watched my live, you could see Feller wasn't a pedo or a groomer. And you said, yes, I seen that. That's why you walked it back after watching my video, which was receipt that it was to clear him, not a video to talk shit about him. True or false?
Exactly. True.
And then I even asked you, did you use my video to call Feller a groomer? And that's when you said
no. I said I got that from Hillbilly.
Yeah. I was like,
that's when Then I felt stupid even on that. And I was like, man, I just got to end this shit. I need to leave this shit alone.
Yep.
Because once I watched the whole video after Hillbilly did that, and then I started doing that, then I got done with the whole video, and I realized all that shit was wrong. So
I even had to ask if that was you in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And the last thing that even I asked you, I texted you and I said, have you thought about just leaving them alone and you all go your own way? Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah. I
there
can't
it
remember
is.
What I said. I had to go back and look at everything. I ain't been on IG or none of that stuff.
I'm just putting out the few little messages. Like I told you, I'm not putting out our whole thread, just the few that I just read to you.
Anyways, I couldn't even get on. I couldn't even get on there anyways. So, which is better for me anyways.
So, all right,
I just want to clear it up about the Feller. No, he is not a pedo. I screwed up. I sincerely apologize. I apologize to Lori. I screwed up, and
Look, I'm just glad that when I was able to find that video, my first live, that I was able to send it to you to show it so that you could end it peacefully with them. And then this way it didn't go any further and started messing with them or you in real life.
Right.
So just know that I still appreciate you. And like I said, I don't give two shits of who believes what you and me are talking about. I've put out the receipt, a couple of receipts just to show that I'm the one who asked you about letting it go, just letting this, walk away, all of you. I didn't know what was going on. There's a couple people who knew because when they all saw it, we were all like, wait a minute, is he going after Stephanie? And even joking at one point, I asked you if you were willing to show me those messages and you're like, nope, I wouldn't do it. And I said, I would
wouldn't
never
send her
ask
the
you.
messages between me and Steph. I didn't send them to nobody.
Yep.
You know, none of that shit.
I even told you I was joking that I would never ask you for any of those. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
True or false?
Yeah, true. And I wouldn't give them to you if you did. I don't care how good of friends we are.
No.
I don't do that.
True or false that I even told you I don't care enough about them. Ever since we all got into it, our last confrontation, I even told you, I don't even think about them. So why would I need to come after them? If I had something to say, I have no problem saying it out loud. And you said, no, this is all about me and her, correct?
Right, correct.
So, but I am glad you ended it. You found a way to end it.
To her, you know, whatever I got wrong, you know, some things I may have got right between me and her, and some things I may have got wrong. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm done with YouTube anyways. I can't even get on it. I don't even try to get on it no more. You know, I can't get on it anyways. I mean, I have to find all my passwords. So,
well, I'm glad my video.
My channels. I was going to take down my last channel, but I couldn't find my password, and I just got tired. I was screw it.
I'm just glad that when you asked for that live, that I
just wanted to clear that up.
That I was able to send it to you to prove to you that he wasn't a pedo, and that you took my advice after watching it and apologized. So it just showed that you're an upstanding man. In my opinion, I think you're a good guy.
Yeah, and same to you. So, well, not guy. Yeah.
I was gonna say thanks, T. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to end this, but I wanted to thank you. I know you were going to come up. Yeah, but you ain't got your passwords. And like I said, we weren't going to do this live because I'm not going to be in there talking to chats. And this was just a video. And I told you about 30 minutes and we're at 26 minutes. See?
Yeah, like I said, we were going to do a live, but I was like, man, I can't get into nothing. I can't even get on YouTube or nothing.
And I know you gave me permission to put out some messages. But like I told you, I'm not putting out all our messages because if they can't take your word and my word, I give two fucks. If my word's not good enough and they still want to smear and do their shit because they can't face the truth that your issues with them were about what they did, what you thought they did to you, and vice versa. This had nothing to do with anybody else.
Exactly. 100%. So.
All right.
I said what I said. I mean, y'all can use this. I believe I'm almost certain I heard the pedo word from Charlie D, and I ran with it like a dumbass. And the groomer part from Hellbelly. And once I got done watching the whole video, I got ahead of myself for what I did.
Yes,
once
you
I got
did.
done watching the whole video, then I realized just that, man, I felt horrible. You know, even if I don't like somebody, that's just a bad word.
Yep.
You know.
And that's exactly what I even told you, that you owe him an apology for the pedo word, because that was.
And I do apologize to him.
Yep, you
1,000%.
did.
So hopefully this ends here, because if it don't, I ain't gonna know nothing about it. Like I said, I ain't on YouTube at all, so nobody can tag me or anything. So.
And if I don't respond to somebody, if I have something important and I think you're important enough to respond, I'll respond. But this video is, I'm tired of hearing that Tim was in the back streets. Me and Tim came to you to attack them because
I've never talked to Tim probably because he's always busy, you know, doing his other stuff. He's talking to me, you know.
And I never came to you about Stephanie. I saw you put out community posts and I'm like, dude, are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah.
If I could.
I wish I'd have listened to you, to be honest with you, a couple of times.
I wished you would have too. But you know what you did at the end? You apologized for the pedo. You got my video and you walked back to groomer. And then you listened to me and you guys ended it before it got even further along.
Yeah. And me and you still friends. We're cool. I appreciate you, you know, understanding and forgiving me. So.
Hey, you know what? You put that video out. You weren't.
I was going to do this, you know, in a video myself to get it official, but like I said, I couldn't get into nothing. So I'm glad that, you know, me and you got this out the way you did, you know, on the phone.
Let's see. I'm trying to see. All right, December 26th. This is the very first, before you leave, one of the first texts, I had texted you a lot before, but this one was specific. I said, as a friend on here, I just got to ask you, are you sure you want to put people on blast for attacks they'll put on you? Because some just believe the slander and lies some say on people. And you've always been a good guy.
Exactly.
that was when you put out the community post, you were going after Steph. And I was like, are you sure, as your friend, that you want to do this?
Right. Yeah.
That's what started that.
Yeah.
And that's when I told you, you do what you got to do, but we'll be friends. I said, just brace yourself.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Wish I'd listened to you now. Oh, well.
Well, you know what? At least you're free. You're not the one being blamed. You know, it's me and Tim that gassed you up and fed you alive so that you would attack people, and instead of the opposite. You know, it couldn't be that Tim and Lori were in the back and I gave you, well, Tim wasn't in the back at all, but I gave you my video to clear feller. You know, instead it was I tried to gas you up to attack him on video.
You tried to stop me is what you tried to do.
Well,
you never called him a pedo or nothing. Like I said, I don't want to put Charlie D. You know, I don't even like the guy, to be honest with you. I told you that myself a long time ago.
You did.
I didn't like it, you know.
Yep.
And before all this even started. So why I did that, I don't know. But anyways, I'm almost positive. But I hate to put him in that spot if I'm wrong. But I think I'm like, I'd say 98% correct. That's where the pedo first came from. That's when I started saying it.
Well, I'm just glad you apologize for using that word, because so many people have been called that in our community that I am really, that word just
Well, without the proof, you know who's going to believe it? All the fellers haters.
Anybody's haters. Tim's been called one. Feller's been called one. Gene's been called one. There's been so many guys in this community called that, and all their haters run with it, but they don't need a receipt. So it only is good enough for some and not others.
And that's why I fucked up before I even, should have did anything. I should have had a more solid receipt.
Yep. That's why I came to you.
At that time, before I watched that video, was not denying it at first, but I don't think, honestly, when I look back at that, I don't think he realized exactly what I was talking about. I can't, I don't know that 100%. That's what kind of I felt like.
Yeah, because I didn't understand the 1814 until you explained it, that it was in your chat or in a comment, and he said something about it doesn't matter because she didn't come live with me till she was 18.
Yeah, I'll come to Florida until she was 18.
Yeah, something along that line.
I think he was misunderstanding what I was saying anyway. I don't know. I have no idea. But I mean, at the end of the day, my main thing is nobody has a right to call him a pedo without the receipts.
That's what I said. Yep.
Since I was doing that, I just want to clear it up that, no, I got it wrong. I apologize about it. So you can't use me and say, well, he called you. But, Charlie, he kept trying. That's why I think I got it from, because he kept trying to get me involved with him to go against them and all this shit.
And is that, once again, that's why.
I didn't like the boy. And that's why I did that video on him. Dude, I ain't like you, man. Stop trying to use my name.
And true or false, one last time, I sent you my video to prove Feller wasn't a pedo. Is that true?
Exactly.
Thank you. That's all I wanted clear. You go ahead and go get some sleep. I'm going to end this recording so I can put it out. But you know what? You know what I've got going on in my real life. I know what's going on in your real life. And it's nobody else's on YouTube's business. I haven't even been on in a week. You haven't been on. But I get sent clips that. That's true. I don't care what people fucking accuse me of. I don't care what anybody accuses me of, but I'm so fucking sick of people saying Tim's in the back, he's talking shit, he's doing this, or Lori's in the back streets telling everybody to attack. Bull motherfucking shit. And Tim ain't talking to nobody. He doesn't even know he's being accused because he don't follow any of this bullshit. And I haven't either. I'm getting sent clips. And I'm sick of it. And that's why you agreed to come on with me, because you wanted to put out a video. And I said, don't bother. And then I'm just tired of hearing this.
Right.
So, all right, Tex, you have a great night. And I'll hit you up in a couple days when things slow down.
All right. Y'all be careful.
All right. Give the family my love.
All right. Same here.
All right. Night, Tex. Bye. All right, guys. So, little me, Feller, and Steph. If I cared enough to have a problem with you, I would come directly to you. I don't think about you. I don't talk about you. But instead, when I heard you being slandered, I fucking stood up and did what's right. Because I don't agree with any man being called a pedo or a groomer. So when he remembered that you were on my panel talking about your past, I watched it. I reached out and said, there's nothing on there. He said, well, I can't find it. I said, I made it public. He couldn't find it. I sent him the link. He watched it. Then I said, as you see, there's nothing on there against Feller. You owe him an apology. I'm the reason that he apologized. Not me coming after you guys. I don't give two fucks about you. And I don't give a fuck what your opinion of me is, because I don't give a fuck. But I am not going to let you keep running with that Tim's in the back talking shit, or that I'm doing this, that I sent him to go after her because I'm afraid I don't have nothing to say. I ain't got nothing to say because you don't matter to me. That's why. This is being put out as receipts. Most of the people who are going to believe you, even though they're smart enough to know I'm telling the truth. They don't fucking want to have you watching all their videos and putting videos together from 5 years ago because they said something wrong or they forgot a word, because that's what you guys do, is you record everybody's lives and see what you can come up to use against them at a later date. I don't have to do that. All I know is that there are enough people who knew that I reached out to try to stop him fucking in December coming after Stephanie. But he wanted to do it because he felt Stephanie did him wrong. So once again, I stepped up. Here I am fucking trying to pay the peacekeeper with people I can't even fucking stand. But that's the type of person I am. And when he called Feller a pedo, I said, you're wrong for that. Here's the fucking receipt. He's not a groomer. He's not a pedo. You owe him an apology. And he said I was right, and he gave you the apology. And then I said, you said you were doing this while you were having fun. Are you having fun still? He said, no. I said, why can't you find a way to end it with them? He reached out and he says, Lori, I did it. I'm waiting on Feller to get a hold of me, but I apologized. Thank you is what I would expect to hear from you. But I'll never expect it, so I won't hold my breath. But you run with your lies and your narratives. You put together your little videos, because the ones that believe you are going to believe you even if they know you're full of shit. And those who believe us are going to believe us. Those who don't. Honestly, I got some real shit going on in real life that has nothing to do with YouTube. I've been off already for a week. I don't give two shits about any of this. But I'm so tired of you running with your fake fucking narratives, wanting to pin it on me and Tim. But you can't look in the fucking mirror and say, maybe Tex came after me or us because of what he felt we did to them. Or this person don't like us because of how we act. Take a look in the fucking mirror. Sometimes just because people don't like you doesn't mean they're out to get you. I don't think about you enough or at all to try to sick somebody to come after you. If I've had something to say, I've gone live and said it to your face. I don't have to play Johnny fuck around games. But now you've heard it. I'm the reason why you got your apology from being called a pedo and a groomer. It was me, motherfucker. So you could live with that all you want. Shove it up your fucking candy fat ass. I don't give two fucks what you do with it. But you're wrong. Again. Thank you. Come again. Have a blessed day. For the rest of you, believe him if you want. Believe me if you want. That's your choice. God gave you the freedom. But you heard it from the horse's mouth, and I put out a few receipts to go along to back up where I asked him about that. And I also told him he owed Feller an apology for calling him a pedo. So if I'm telling the truth and I'm the one that got an apology to him, and I gave my video to back up that he wasn't a pedo, that's the main story, is that I gave my video so that Stephen Feller would be attacked. And when he watched it, there was nothing to it. Well, I just blew that narrative out, didn't I? Because you were being called a pedo. You were being called a groomer. So I sent my video to prove that it wasn't true. And what happened? You got an apology. All right, everybody. With that, have a blessed night.